heading in to see Steven at Xero Shoes. This is the R&D room.
This is all super secret, Nicole.
What?
It's all super secret. You're not supposed to see any of this.
What are you working on next?
Secrets. If I told you that, they wouldn't be secrets.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, Nicole.
I love your skirt.
Thank you. I do
It's
too.
really cute.
It is.
I feel so alive. Like I'm
Like in
breathing a lot of oxygen right now.
Yeah, it's like being in a bamboo forest.
Except it's kind of how.
A very hard, flat bamboo
You
forest.
know what makes me want to do is go run.
Through the bamboo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've been running in like regular running shoes since I was in 6th grade. They like have this little thing in the back that lifts my foot a little bit.
Because that's all we had. Do you know how that started?
What? Tell me.
Oh man, this is really interesting. So back in the early 70s, Bill Bowerman at Nike worked in an office that also had some orthopedic surgeons. And he said, we got these runners who were coming to our track who were getting Achilles tendonitis, what do you recommend? And the orthopedic surgeon said, oh, well clearly their Achilles tendon have gotten shortened from wearing high-heeled shoes, so they need a high-heeled running shoe to accommodate that. So that's where the idea of a high-heeled running shoe came from. Later, that same orthopedic surgeon recanted and said, yeah, I just made that up. We were doing a lot of prosthetics, so I saw everything with a prosthetic lens, but there was no evidence that Achilles tendons have shortened and that you needed higher-heeled shoes. Our goal is to make something that gives you the same natural benefits of being barefoot plus a layer of protection and of course some style when appropriate. So barefoot is great. So here's the simple thing. You have 1/4 of the bones and joints of your entire body in your feet and ankles. You have more nerve endings in the sole of your feet than anywhere but your fingertips and your lips. That means you're supposed to use these things. You're supposed to let them bend and move and flex and feel. And Xero shoes are designed to let you do that as much as possible. So they have wide toe box, so your toes can spread and relax. We don't elevate your heel because that messes with your posture. They're really flexible. They're low to the ground for balance and agility. And the sole gives you a combination of feedback because your brain wants to know what's happening down there, so it knows how to use everything in between, but also protection as necessary. 10 years ago, I got back into sprinting after a 30-year break. I was getting injured constantly, and a friend of mine who's a world champion runner said, why don't you take off your shoes and run barefoot and see if you learn anything? And what I learned was the form problem that I had, and I also, more importantly, learned how to correct it, because frankly, doing what was wrong hurt and what was right felt good. And when the form problem went away, my injuries went away, I became faster, I became a Masters All-American sprinter, and I just wanted that natural movement experience as often as I could, so I started making sandals based on a 5,000-year-old idea, which basically just a little bit of rubber with some string attached to it to tie it to your foot, and it looked a lot like this. Although I don't think pink was the first color that I used. But this is how it all began, was a do-it-yourself sandal kit that you could use to get the superpower of making your own footwear in just a few minutes. Terraflex, which has this super grippy sole, and inside, you can't see it, on the middle of that is a little bit of our bare foam, like from that Z Trail sandal. And again, crazy lightweight, crazy flexible, crazy grippy, crazy comfortable. Everything's crazy all of a sudden. I don't know why. And there's a whole bunch more that we're coming out with this year, next year, and beyond, all based on this simple idea that your feet are supposed to bend and move and flex and feel, and Xero shoes let you do that naturally.
Why is recovery important?
Oh my gosh, everything happens during the rest time. So if you think about learning a new skill, when you're trying to learn it, you feel awkward and stupid and uncoordinated and dorky. that's not a problem. That's actually what happens when you're trying to lay down new neural pathways in your brain. And so it's during the rest time that those neural pathways actually get laid down, which is why when you go back the next time to try that same skill, you're less goofy and awkward and uncoordinated and all the rest. So that's one thing, is that learning happens during the resting. And of course, when you do any activity, you're stressing out your body. And not only do you need to just recover from the stress part, but muscle growth and fat loss, all those things actually happen again during the rest time, not during the activity time. So recovery is highly, highly underrated and super, super important.